Meri Brown's kitchen was quiet, the early morning light spilling across cold tile. Her old coffee maker sputtered, just like it always had, as she moved barefoot through the stillness. The scent of the grounds was familiar, almost comforting, but her mind was far from calm. She had done it, spoken aloud the things she had buried, and the world wasn't silent in return. Fans were flooding her inbox. But it didn't stop there. Journalists, mental health experts, feminist bloggers, even former producers were weighing in. Heyo everybody, welcome back to my channel, Sister Wives Views Update. Make sure to hit that like button, because we need to talk about Meri's life. One of the most startling shifts came from the former Sister Wives cast members. Silent for years, they were now quietly endorsing her words. A Reddit thread appeared within hours. "I spent 2 seasons on the set. What Meri said, I saw it with my own eyes. Before every shoot, Robyn would cry. If we didn't frame her like a saint, Kody would halt production. Favoritism wasn't just real, it was policy." The internet was in chaos. Across the state, Robyn Brown sat awake in her fortress-like McMansion. Her hair was tangled, her eyes hollow from a night without rest. She had tried to sleep, but Meri's words haunted her. "She watched us." That line echoed endlessly. Every time she opened her phone, she braced herself. She couldn't escape it. Everywhere, memes, videos, think pieces. One TikTok showed her and Kody photoshopped onto a Monopoly board. Collect $200 every time you cry and gaslight a wife. Another showed Meri in dramatic lighting, bold letters reading, "The first wife, the last standing." At 3 a.m., Robyn tried to wake Kody. He had read a Twitter space titled, "Why We All Owe Meri Brown an Apology." He threw his phone against the wall. When she finally coaxed him out of his study with a fresh cup of coffee, Kody looked wrecked. Unshaven, dark circles, eyes hollow. "We have to go live," Robyn whispered. "We have to speak." "Speak about what?" he snapped. "The truth? The truth you've spent years hiding behind." Kody paced, then froze. "It's not just the 4th wall she broke," he said. "She torched the whole set. All of it, everything I spent years building, gone." He looked at her, his voice shaking. "Do you know how many things I said to keep it all together? How many versions of myself I had to become? And for what?" Robyn flinched. "What things?" Kody didn't answer. He stared through her, into a space only he could see. Elsewhere, Leon sat at the edge of their bed, a phone buzzing endlessly in their lap. Texts from strangers, former co-stars, and old friends all read the same. "Your mom is a warrior. She gave us chills. I see her now. I see you too." Their chest tightened. They had known all along what others were only just realizing. They'd watched their mother fade, little by little. They'd seen her cry softly into mugs of tea during long, whispered phone calls. She always said she was fine. Leon remembered being 11, watching through a frosty car window as Kody walked into Robyn's house holding flowers. "She forgot mine," Meri had whispered. Leon had never forgotten it. Something in her had cracked that day, and it had never fully healed. But now, something in her was different, alive. By noon, the media frenzy had detonated. Red Table Talk, The View, CNN, The Cut, all wanted Meri. Academics praised her for speaking out about the emotional fallout in patriarchal, religiously framed polygamy. TikToks layered her confession over dramatic music and cinematic edits. TLC's official press release was vague and delayed. We are aware of recent statements made by Meri Brown on social media. We have no comment at this time. The story of Sister Wives continues to evolve. Behind the scenes, however, executives scrambled. The show's ratings had been slipping. But suddenly, Meri was fire. And where there was fire, people watched. A lead producer floated the idea. Let's pivot. Give Meri her own platform. A documentary series. A solo arc. Let the others spiral. The surge of attention overwhelmed her. For years, she had been edited out of family photos, minimized on TV, dismissed by fans. Those same fans were now calling her brave. Inspirational. A truth teller. But Meri didn't feel brave. I didn't do this to go viral, she whispered into the quiet of her kitchen. I did this because I was suffocating. Outside, snow had begun to fall. Thick and white, cloaking the world. It reminded her of Utah. Of before. Before fame. Before fractures. Before Kody looked at her and asked her to pray about sharing him. She remembered how deeply she'd loved him, and how little of her was left after he had taken all she could give. Later that night, Kody reopened TikTok. He watched the live, all of it, from start to finish. And for the first time in decades, he didn't see the version of Meri he had kept in his head. He saw someone else entirely, a woman who had survived him. He didn't say a word. But deep down, the truth landed like ice in his chest. She didn't need him anymore. Robyn Brown is live on TikTok. No promo, no cryptic Instagram post, just her, raw and real, sitting alone in the warm glow of her Utah errand. Her followers were used to the usual Lizzo-positive vibes, uplifting talks about healing, grief, and self-love. But this night, something was different. Her hair was loose. Her face bare. No filters, no distractions. And her eyes, they were done being silent. I'm not here to play the nice ex-wife anymore, Meri began, voice steady but sharp. I've kept quiet for years. Covered up for people who used me, twisted my pain, and fed it to a camera for ratings. But tonight, I'm taking it back. The chat lit up instantly. OMG, wait. She's TL King about Kody and Robyn. Finally. Meri took a sip from her Stanley cup, then leaned into the camera. Kody used to say I was the glue that held the family together. And then slowly he turned me into the mess that made it fall apart. He told me I was the reason Robyn cried. That if I just stopped being so dramatic, we could all get along. But what they called drama was actually me refusing to disappear. A pause. The air was thick. And Robyn, Meri continued, let's be real. That sweet baby voice she uses, it's an act. Behind the scenes, she was strategic, calculated. I watched her isolate Kody from everyone else. She'd cry in private, then act like the peacemaker on camera. And every time she told me, I just want sisterhood, she had already driven a wedge deeper between us. The floodgates were open now, and Meri didn't stop. Across the country, in a quiet living room in Salt Lake City, Robyn Brown was watching. At first, they couldn't believe what they were hearing. But then again, they could. They'd lived this. They had seen their mother cry herself to sleep, heard the passive-aggressive digs Robyn would deliver with a syrupy smile, watched Kody withhold affection like it was currency. Meri grabbed their phone and opened Instagram Live. Okay, since we're all telling the truth now. Meri sat on the floor, knees pulled to their chest, hair tied up in a messy bun. I wasn't going to say anything. I thought maybe Mom's story was hers to tell. But I saw her go through hell while everyone kept saying she was just moody or jealous. They glanced off camera, trying to keep their voice steady. I was a kid when it started, but I remember. I remember Robyn coming in and things changing overnight. I remember my dad suddenly acting like we were strangers. I'd text him, get silence. I'd hear him laughing with Robyn's kids while mine were left on read. They leaned closer to the camera, their voice growing sharper. He made us feel like loving us was optional, like loyalty had to be earned, but only by jumping through their hoops. And you know what? That's not love. That's manipulation. Meri's voice broke for a second, but they didn't stop. To Robyn and Kody, you may have controlled the narrative on TV, but you can't control us anymore. Within minutes, both lives were clipped and reposted. Hashtag Meri Brown exposes and hashtag Meri Brown speaks started trending. YouTubers made instant recaps. TikTokers posted live reactions with their jaws on the floor. One viral tweet read, "Meri and Meri just burned the whole Brown PR machine to the ground." Even former family friends and crew members started dropping cryptic likes and retweets. The wall of silence cracked wide open. Back in Flagstaff, Robyn sat on the edge of her pristine white couch, fingers shaking as she scrolled through the storm. "She's lying," she said, voice tight. "She's bitter." Kody, pacing like a caged animal, snapped back. "No, she's winning." He rubbed his temples furiously. "I told you this would happen. That if she ever turned on us publicly, it would be nuclear." Robyn stood, arms crossed tightly. "Then fix it, Kody. Go live. Say something." He stopped, looked her dead in the eye. "No one believes me anymore, Robyn. I'm the villain now." Meanwhile, Meri sat in the quiet after her live ended. Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Thousands of DMs. Media inquiries. Support from strangers and old friends alike. But one text stood out. From Meri. "You finally did it. And I'm right beside you. Always." She smiled, tears finally falling, this time not from pain, but release. A few days later, Meri appeared on a podcast titled Unscripted Voices. It was raw, unscripted, and she didn't hold back. "I wasn't allowed to be angry. Not on camera. Not in private. If I showed pain, I was the problem. If I was silent, I was ignored. I was trapped in a family system where women were disposable unless they played the favorite." So what changed? What gave you the courage to finally speak? Meri smiled. "I realized that silence protects the wrong people, and I'm not here to protect abusers anymore." That single quote exploded. It was made into a TikTok sound. It was printed on t-shirts. It even showed up as a tweet from a women's empowerment nonprofit with a caption, "We cure you, Meri." Robyn, desperate to fix her image, announced her own livestream. It was awkward, scripted, and ultimately a disaster. She cried through most of it, denied any manipulation, called herself misunderstood, said, "I never tried to replace anyone." But people weren't buying it. Comments flooded in. "Your tears don't work anymore. This isn't TLC, babe. Say less." Kody tried to join the live halfway through, but got disconnected. Some said it was a glitch. Others swore Robyn booted him when he started ranting. But for Meri and Meri, the truth had already found oxygen, and once it did, it burned through every lie. Meri got offers for a book deal. Meri was invited to speak on a panel about family estrangement and toxic parent dynamics. And the fans? They weren't just entertained, they were empowered. Because Meri's truth wasn't just about polygamy or religion or reality TV. It was about freedom.